Hey, it's your dating coach, Matt B again, and I'm doing this video about something I got inspired by on a comment on someone else's YouTube video, and not mine, by the way. So I liked this idea because I thought, hey, this is like a really cool mental experiment, mind experiment, or thought experiment. So what you want to do is, if you're recently dumped, think about the day that you met your ex and go back 15 minutes before you met them. And this is kind of be a little bit interesting, but look at yourself from the outside and then just make a checklist of how you felt, who you were, what your hobbies were, what your expectations were, and kind of just like go back to that feeling that, I mean, obviously the anticipation of meeting your ex for the first time it might not be the best thing to do, but I think this is a good exercise to at least, maybe you don't have to like incorporate this into your mental awareness as far as who you were, but think about who you were basically before you met your ex. What were you into? What were you doing? What were your goals? And what were you all about? Because the likelihood of what you were involved in, especially if you got dumped, the likelihood is that you lost a lot of that person with the before the breakup. The likelihood of that is very high. I can tell you from personal experience, if I've been dumped, sometimes I'm like, wow, I haven't done this hobby for months. I haven't done this activity. What happened? I've been in this thing and it's taken up a lot of my time. So you just got to look at yourself and at who you were. Maybe it'll be better just to say like a month before you met your ex rather than 15 minutes. But it's one of those things, because you got to get back to where you were before you met them. And it's a challenging process, I can tell you. Because when you meet someone, you're ready to meet them, You're absolutely ready. And there's nothing that you can really say as far as like, well, I mean, it's not a matter of like you were desperate necessarily, or anything like that. Even though people might say that, if you want to get back together with your ex or whatever. But that's kind of what you want to do, is get back to that attractive person that attracted to them in the first place. Because if you want them back, I could tell, a lot of people do for various reasons. You've got to get back to that person, and that's a challenge, because your ego has been so bruised. Sometimes you've been destroyed. I could tell you, like, from a breakup that I had, I was completely destroyed, just completely dead. I mean, it got so bad. It got really bad. So it's understandable that you can be in this position where you just don't, physical pain is also a symptom of this, because I think a lot of people underestimate how much physical pain there is with a breakup. And I can tell you that there's one breakup that I had that I felt like I was under the ocean, and then there was like a bulldozer on me under the ocean, just completely weighed down. And it's really not a fun place to be. So, and if you're listening to this and relate to this, then definitely let me know in the comments, or like this video, or subscribe, of course. But it's really tough. But you got to go back to that. You got to go back to that excitement that you had. Let's say you were already kind of dating, you know, or you're out in the dating game and you're on a high horse, not a high horse, but, you know, on a high as far as like where you were in life when you met your ex. You got to get back to that feeling, get back to that anticipation, that excitement, and expectation. Because if you get to that, that really is more attractive than anything, than being down in the dumps and all that. Being a positive person is very attractive. Now, there's a lot of negative people out there that are attracted to like attracts like, you know, they're into that. But if you're a positive person, you have this vibe, this energy about you, then it's gonna, you know, that's the best way to attract your ex back. But I have talked to therapists about this, you know, and coaches and stuff, and they've said this as far as that is kind of what you want to do. Now, it's a challenge because if you're dealing with these limiting beliefs, it's kind of this one of these paradoxes, right? So you might be down in the dumps so much that you want your ex back, and then if you had a high self-esteem and had happiness in your life, you might question that. But that's just kind of how it really goes. I mean, if you really value someone that much, I don't think it'll matter if you do get your self-esteem back up. Once you get back your self-esteem back up, I should say. But it's really something you have to do. You have to be a person that can get themselves back up, because that's how life goes. If you get shot down, you got to get back up. Really, around the corner, there's something better if you don't meet your ex. Like in my life, I know that that's happened numerous times where I was devastated from a breakup. Usually, I would say on average, it'd be like 2 to 4 months I'd meet someone else, and they were better for me, honestly, a lot of the time. And it's just one of those patterns that I noticed. So if you have something like that in your life, if you remember anything like that, you can grab onto these synchronicities or these coincidences or whatever, because I think that's a good way to make yourself feel better about the breakup. Now, if you still want your ex back, it's understandable. They have a lot of good qualities. I'll go more into that in future videos, but I just wanted to say this about, you know, getting yourself back to that state of mind, that frame of mind where you were before you met your ex. It's probably will have unbelievable positive effects on your life, and it may even help get them back.